Hi everyone, so back out, still trying on this new fishery, so I know it's going to be a challenge, keep saying that. Got to remain positive to sort of think that there'll be a great reward at the end of all this waiting, but yeah, it does get a little bit tough at times, but lovely to be out. It hasn't been too cold, but now the sun's, I think, feels like it's starting to sort of, a mist might start to appear. Cloud cover's thickened up, so at the moment I've just got my hoodie on and about 15 layers underneath. Probably no wonder I'm not really feeling the cold, but hands and feet starting to sort of get there, so I'll have the coat on, gloves on in a little bit. um, yeah, just try and sort of stick it out. My plan this session is to see it out and swim that I'm in. It's a new area, new swim. I haven't fished before, so don't really know much about it. Looked at it, looks good. There's a good bit of flow coming down. There's a few trees upstream, so there's a nice flow. There's a it just looks, there's a couple of slacks. So yeah, I'm targeting a few areas. I think it's really hard this time of year. It's going to be tough. So you sort of target an area, so it could be prime fish holding areas, but because of the time of year being cold, sort of going into winter, there could be fish sitting right in front of me, but just not feeding. So I'm using those baits that I made. So I've got some of them soaking in bait flavouring. It's literally just trying different things. I've wrapped my hook baits in paste as well, so I've got a nice paste wrapped chunk out at the moment, so hopefully just trying to sort of stir the fish into feeding. That's the plan. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully that will work. But yeah, I'm going to stay here till dark, and then I may work my way sort of back up to the car park area. So there's sort of 3 or 4 swims just up from me that look good, so probably worth dropping in. And I sort of think, if the fish are going to feed, I think it's more than likely going to be in darkness. If they're not in front of me, if they're not in the swim that I'm in, or I can't hook them, I'll move to the next, and hopefully, I guess it's more by luck at the moment. I can drop a bait right on the fish's nose, and it obliges and pulls my rod round. That's the thought process. So see how we get on. Yeah, it's like I say, it's sort of getting nice and grey out now. So nice and grey, I don't know. It's just the light conditions. The light's going, so that should hopefully work in my favour. But yeah, that's what I keep saying, and it doesn't. So chat to another angler as well who's further up, and he also mentioned, yeah, I think we'll realise we're going to struggle on here, but the rewards, if you do see it out and do manage to pick up a fish, there's some great rewards to be had. So it's the prize at the end that's sort of looking for. Yeah, let's see how we get on. So just talk you through. So I've got my sort of standard setup, my Shimano 4000 Fox Duo Light barbel rod. Same sort of setup with the butt grip and the front runner. And then here's my swim. So I've got some sort of fallen trees, bushes, whatever, but they look like they've been there a while. So there's a nice sort of narrowing of the river, and you can see as it breaks through into just to my right, it sort of opens out. You've got the main flow sort of going slightly to the right, and then I'm just fishing, sort of just trying to sort of fish either side of it and just wash baits down into it. And then at the moment I'm just fishing slightly downstream, so that's the sort of thinking behind that, is just try and get this bait into a few areas. So it's got to be worth a try. It looks really good. My hook baits, like I say, I've got them soaking, so I've got hook bait soaking in there, so that's wrapped in paste, and I've got some of those other bits, so smaller bits at the bottom, and I've got some of the big chunky bits. So I'm just trying to get them soaking up some of that liquid, hopefully just boost it up a little bit and give out a bit of a sort of fish attractor going down the river, and hopefully tempt a fish into feeding. So yeah, see how I get on. Hopefully that rod tip will whack round any minute now, so only time will tell. It's probably been about an hour and a half since my last update. Light is really starting to go now, so it's starting to get dark. So the plan is to sit it out, probably give it about an hour in darkness in this swim, and then move further back up. So there's a number of swims that I haven't touched before, so I can certainly give them a try. Yeah, I'd say there's probably been no action on the tip. I did get excited a little while ago, but it turned out that I actually knocked my rod. So apart from that, there's been nothing. So tips have been bouncing around quite a bit actually, and it's just, again, it's lots of debris coming down, getting caught in the line, and then because of the flow, it just sort of, the tips sort of bouncing backwards and forwards. Sorry, the tip. It just keeps bouncing around really, just with the flow and the debris on the line. So yeah, fingers crossed. Coldness, starting to get cold now. I've got one glove on. Not going for the Michael Jackson look. I just, for some reason, I've only got one glove on. Got the other one in my pocket, so I'll put that on in a little while and keep the hands warm, and yeah, see how long I can face it out here. So probably going to be about 5-6 degrees tonight, so far from perfect conditions, but yeah, still hunting for that prize at the end of it. Let's yeah, see how I get on. Right, I'm not actually fishing today, but I've come back to the fishery. What the idea was, I was going to have a sort of bit of a throw around with a lead and a deeper probe, and just try and sort of find out the depths on the river. But as you can see, we've had quite a lot of rain, and the river is in some places burst its banks, and a lot of the swims are flooded, so they're underwater. So I have actually been able to get into a couple of swims and just put the probe around. I've actually found like one deep hole so far out of 3 swims. It's you're a bit limited to how far you can get the probe out, because you're sort of restricted with overhanging trees and bushes that are now underwater. So it's, yeah, still finding a few bits, but a little bit disappointed that I couldn't actually sort of do more in terms of finding out about the stretch. Okay, and this is looking back upstream towards the sort of entrance, and you might be able to hear there's a lot of running water. So over to my right, the river's actually burst its banks, so I'm going to sort of stay away. There are a few swims on that side of the bank that would have been good to have a look at today. Now I've got a bit of time, but I'm not going to risk it going over there. I don't know enough about the area to sort of be comfortable walking through flooded water, so whether the river comes up and strands me, I don't want to do that. So I'll wait for the river levels to drop and just get in swims that I can and have a look around. But yeah, it's up, it's greeny brown. You know, if it was a lot warmer, this would be perfect conditions, but it's sort of 3-4 degrees, so fishing wise it's not the best conditions. But yeah, it's getting a good flush through, lots of debris coming down, seen a few big parts of trees that have washed down, so yeah, it's getting a good flush through. But yeah, just a shame I couldn't really get into sort of finding out more about the fishery, but I'll be able to sort of get in places and probe around and just see what I can find. Hopefully I'll find a few sort of areas that look interesting, so deep holes and so on, and then I'll be able to target these on my next session on here. Hi everyone, back out on this this new stretch. So yeah, it's quite cold. It's been down sort of down to 0 and sort of hovering around sort of -2 to sort of +2, but it's starting to warm up a little bit today. But it's, yeah, still, I suppose I'd say warm up. It's probably about 3 or 4 degrees. So I'm out. Sort of slight change of tactics now. So I'm on to I'm fishing with sort of mashed bread and maggots. I'm just literally just putting a little swim feeder around the in one of the swims, just trying to sort of get a bite. But as the sort of evening progresses, I'm just going to move on to some cheese paste. So I've made some cheese paste. I'm going to put a lump of cheese paste on and just sort of flick it downstream, just see if that can bring anything. But yeah, it's freezing cold. The river, as you probably see from the video footage I took the other day, the river has been in flood, or certainly it's been up. So yeah, it's still quite coloured. It's really muddy again, so the water was over the sort of swim where I was, well, where I'm sitting today. So that was only about 4 days ago. So it's good colour. It's actually sort of river levels going down, so that's good. But yeah, just literally maggots and sort of mashed bread. So just trying to sort of get a bite. And like I say, as the evening progresses, I'm just going to go onto a lump of cheese paste and just see if that will bring anything. So that's the plan. I guess it's just wait and see how I get on. I'm sort of casting up and down the swim, so I'm sort of fishing a slacker area of it. I'll show you the rod setup again in a little bit, so it's a slightly different to what I usually fish, but yeah, I'll give you a little look at that in a minute. Okay, so here's the swim. It's one that I've been in fishing it a few times, sort of still keep plugging away in here. So I did a bit of measuring with the depth the other day. Fortunately it was when it was in flood. It was just spare time I had, so I got a sort of idea of the sort of swim layout. So just looking at it, I mean, there's a faster channel sort of halfway across, slack area just in front of me, so it's not too hard to work out. The deep water is where you've got the main flow, and it shallows up a little bit in front. My rod, so rod set up, I've got a TFG power. Is it a power fit? You know what, I don't even really know what this rod is. I've had it for quite a few years, used it a few times, but yeah, it's called the Grunt Power Feeder. So that's what I'm using. Combine that with a 2500 bait runner, so I'm using the bait runner as and when, and then yeah, like I say, I'm just sort of flicking it out. I've just sort of put the feeder under the tree, so hopefully I haven't snagged it, but yeah, just sort of casting out in front and then down to the right, getting a few sort of taps, but nothing to try. It might just be small stuff. So yeah, the mist is starting to reappear on the water as well now. It's feel the temperature starting to go. So I'm going to hang it out as much as I can. I've got a pint of reds, a pint of red maggots. The only thing I have caught is another swim feeder, but yeah, let's hope that changes. But yeah, I'll use maggots and bread for now, and then the maggots that I don't use, I'm just gonna suffocate. So I'll put them in a bag, suffocate them, put them out in the shed, because it's so cold at the moment. They'll either die or just go sort of dormant. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully you can pick a few fish out. Hi everybody. So first session in a few weeks. Yeah, so it's just past, it's just a few days past Christmas. Sort of did plan to get out a few days earlier, but the rivers have been in flood, and they've sort of been going, certainly the river I'm on at the moment has been going up and down. Temperature wise it was quite good, did fall quite suddenly before Christmas, and then it's just sort of evened out. So daytime it's sort of 4 or 5 degrees, 6 degrees. Taking the water temperature at the moment, it's coming in sort of 7 or 8 degrees, so it started to drop. I did take it the other day, it was at 9 degrees, so it has started to sort of go down, but I think it's good that it's been constant, hasn't moved that much. So the rivers again been going up and down the last few days. It was really high, dropped, went up again, dropped, went up again, and then it looks like it's just starting to fall now. So first swim, been here probably 10-15 minutes. There's quite a lot of anglers further up on the stretch that I'm on. They had to change their plans, so they've sort of yeah, been moving around on the fishery. One of them's had a nice 5 pound chub from what I understand. So yeah, glad someone's been catching. I'm literally gonna hang it out here tonight until my toes or fingertips tell me otherwise. So it will get a lot cooler. So at the moment though, it's not too bad. I'm literally just in my hoodie and about 15 other tops underneath. So the jacket is just on the back of the chair. Hopefully there's not too many things crawling in it whilst I sort of drapes it over the chair, on probably onto the floor. Bait wise, I'm literally just using big lump of cheese paste. I've got a maggot feeder on at the moment, so I thought I'd put some maggot out. So I've got dead maggot, and I'm going to alternate between sort of cheese paste, a bit of meat, and maggots. So literally just have a few casts, and I'm probably going to aim to stay in each swim probably about an hour, and just alternate the three baits. Just see if I can find slack areas, and hopefully pick up a fish. There is a real strong flow on here, so although it's dropping, it's really pushing through. So I'll probably just alternate between like a feeder and a lead, and just see how that goes. I'm sort of just trying to sort of go through a number of baits, a number of techniques, and hopefully I can trip a fish up. Hopefully I'll cover sort of 4 or 5 swims. That's the plan. Hopefully that bait will draw something in, so fingers crossed. Still blanking on here, so see how it goes. But yeah, I was sort of debating whether to come out today or not, and it's getting harder with it getting colder. So, but it's good to be out. I'm glad I got out now. So yeah, let's see how we get on.